I had a lot of debt. When I say a lot, I had at least $50,000 worth of debt, and I didn't even have a house yet. I was in this place where I was emotionally spending. I was freshly divorced, and I was a pharmacy school dropout in my transition period into tech. So I was learning Scrum, I was learning how to code, but I was working at an overnight concierge job making $14 an hour, if that. So I had all these bills coming in, but I had only a little bit of money. And I was too prideful to ask my parents for help because I was in a place where I felt like mentally, how can I dare ask them for help when I'm already staying there rent-free? So I was racking up a lot of debt on credit cards. I had my car note, and I had a little bit of medical bills as well. So I got to the place where, okay, as soon as I got my tech job, I'm going to pay off this debt. But what did I do? For the first 3 to 4 checks, I was just running through them. I was buying all the things that I needed all this time. But after that 4th check, I realized, okay, it's time to pay off debt. So in this video, I'm going to break down how I paid off over $50,000 of debt in a little bit under 10 months. Let's get to it. So prior to me actually leaving pharmacy school, I started accumulating debt because in my mind, I felt like I was doing this all on my own. So I had to make sure I had cash flow. So I had part of the mentality right, but the other part, not so much. Because it was like I had the money, but I was still spending money on my credit card. I wasn't paying the credit card off. So slowly but surely, I was accumulating debt. And then as I left pharmacy school and I came home with really no plan, I was accumulating more debt because I still had my car note. I still had now more and more of a credit card bill each month, and I'm still spending money. At this point, I'm super prideful because I'm trying to prove everybody wrong that I didn't make the wrong move of leaving pharmacy school. So I got this job overnight. I'm working for $14 an hour, but these bills are still coming in. So I'm accumulating this money, and I'm learning how to code. So I'm at the place where I've literally hit rock bottom, and I'm like, I'm in a place of desperation. So I'm learning how to code, but I'm also learning all about becoming a Scrum Master, Agile Scrum. I have some videos on that and the features so you guys can understand if you're interested in getting into tech, it's the best way to get in. But so I'm cramming all this information, and I'm learning, I'm studying, I'm doing all these things. So I finally get my first job in tech. I'm just excited to make it into the tech world. I prove everybody wrong. I prove myself right and kind of wrong because I'm human. I had some doubt. So I'm excited. I got my first job as a Scrum Master over a couple of software development teams, and it's going great. I mean, I'm definitely in way over my head, but I'm making the money. My foot is in the door, right? So, I got that first job. I was making a little bit over $84,000, and I was like, okay, cool. All I need to do is make more money, and then I'm gonna pay off my debt. My only issue is that I didn't have enough money. But me, which is very similar to a lot of other people currently, is that we have that mentality that all I need is more money and my situation will change. But really, it's us mentally. We need to change our perspective about money. And it really wasn't that I need to make more money. It's that my habits and my mentality around money needed to change. So what happened? My first 4 paychecks, I blew right through them. I was so excited, and I started buying all the things that I needed all this time. And I had nothing to show for it. I didn't need those things, but what I did need was to pay my bills. I needed to get ahead. I needed to start saving an emergency fund. I needed to start saving money and paying down debt. So the first 4 paychecks, I blew them. And then I was like, okay. When that 5th paycheck came, it was a Friday. Our boss actually allowed us to leave early. I left work early. I came home. I said hey to my parents. I went straight to my room, closed the door, and I was like, okay, I'm laying all my debt out on the table. And so I pulled out all my bank statements. Because on my bank statements, I wanted to see exactly what I was spending. I wanted to see exactly where every dollar was going so that I can make a realistic budget. So I did that. I pulled up each credit card so I can see exactly how much debt I was in. I added it all up, and I was at about $51,500. And I was like, okay, making exactly what I'm making right now, how much time is it going to take for me to pay off all this debt? And it was like 2 years. I was like, nope, too long. All right, so we got to have another plan. So here's what I'm bringing in. I'm single. I'm freshly divorced, so I'm real single. I'm single, right? So that means I got a whole lot of time. So how am I gonna maximize this time? I'm gonna start getting some side hustles. I'm gonna start Ubering. I spent all this time. I spent all of this time learning how to code. I'm not using it, so I'm going to start promoting my services on Fiverr or any of these other freelance websites. I'm gonna get me some clients. I love dogs. I'm gonna start walking some dogs. Like, we're gonna get the job done. So that's exactly what I did. I was walking dogs. I even found this online virtual assistant gig for a couple of months. I was building websites. I was doing like 1 to 3 websites a month. And I got to the place where I started paying down debt. I was getting in the groove of things. I was getting to the point where, after I paid down one credit card, I was going to the next one. I was taking all that money I was paying. I'm doubling it. I'm tripling it. I'm just throwing my money. At this point, it's a game. Like, I'm like, okay, how fast or how long is it going to take me in order to get to this next level? And this next level was the next piece of debt. Like, I want to just get rid of each credit card, each loan, each medical bill, and that last one was exciting because it was my car. It was the biggest piece of debt that I had, other than student loans. And student loans, they still sitting there. I'm gonna get to them, but they still sitting there. I'm praying for President Biden to get with the program. But the last piece of debt was my car. I got to the point where I'm Ubering and my dad's like, Brandi, this is not safe. Can you please stop? I'm like, all right, I'll stop that, but I'm still gonna build some websites. I was getting to the place where I was walking dogs. My dad's like, Brandi, it's not safe for you to walk dogs at night. So I only took lunchtime dogs. I took breakfast and lunchtime dogs. I still wasn't stopping it, but I made the adjustments to be safe. I was getting in the groove. He's like, Brandi, you're making too much money to be putting yourself in danger. Okay, you're right. But the point I'm trying to make is you got to get yourself so locked in, so focused that it doesn't matter what doubt says. It doesn't matter what insecurity says. It doesn't matter what shame says, because a lot of times we're shameful about how much money we spent, and then we start emotionally spending because we're trying to make ourselves feel better, which really we feel worse. So I got to the place where I don't care what happens. I'm going to crush these goals. I got in a tech when they said I couldn't do it, so I'm going to pay off debt when they said I couldn't do it. So I got to the place where I paid off my car. You couldn't tell me nothing. Yes, I didn't. I did give myself, I think, between $500 and $750 after I officially paid off my car, because I am an advocate for working hard, play hard. I don't believe in that whole, you got to eat beans and ramen noodles in order to get there, and then once you get there, you got to keep eating beans because you got to buy a house. You got to keep eating beans because you got to pay off student loans. I mean, you gotta give yourself a reward. Like, I feel like us as humans need to see the fruit of your labor. And if you're still wearing your rags from college because you're still trying to pay off your debt and do that Dave Ramsey, you got to pay off everything, including student loans, before you can even buy a house. It's like I think following that method, it just sucks the hope out of you. You get to the place where doing that for 2 months or even 2 years with no vacation, no reward, is just crazy. And honestly, when it comes to life, it's not promised. And so I don't believe in waiting till you're 65 to enjoy life. But what I do believe is that you need to know where your money's going, and you need to actually put things in a budget. So if you want to go on vacation, plan for the vacation. Like, how much you need to save out of your paycheck each week in order to, make that number, that target number, for you to be able to enjoy your vacation without returning from your vacation and being broke. So after I paid off all my debt, I did start traveling. I went to the West Coast. I went overseas. I definitely had a good time, but it's all in restraint. And so then I'm like, okay, cool. If I can pay off $50,000 in less than a year, now I want to save $50,000. At that point, I'm also trading Forex. So I'm trading Forex. I did stop Ubering. I did stop dog walking, and I was just doing Forex. I was still building some websites, and I'm working in tech. And then I got to the place where, I'm still growing in tech. And the next thing you know, I got my first 6-figure job. And about 13 months after I paid off my car, I was able to save over $125,000, which then I was able to buy a home, and I was able to buy my car. And then from there, it just kind of kept going. So yes, over the course of time, I did have some pitfalls, because as I shared with you guys before, I do have a heart condition. So I've had a lot of really high medical expenses. But even with that, being disciplined and being able to actually know where my money is going, I was able to pay that debt off with Forex and different things of that sort. So the point of this video is that if I can do it, you can do it. You gotta have the grit, you have the discipline, and get to the place where I am in my own way. And if I get out of my own way and I have the tools that I need to be successful, there's nothing's gonna stop me from paying off my debt. So overall, I really hope that just hearing my story about where I was, where I got to, and just where I am now on this journey, because I'm not debt free. I still do have debt. I don't think all debt is bad. Like, there is some good debt that helps you build credit and just things of that sort. But I'm in a lot healthier financial place. And I just hope that this video encouraged you that wherever you are on your journey, that it's not too late. Shame is not going to hold you back. Guilt, all that stuff, you can do it. Just continue to make those 1% improvements. And if I can do it, you can do it. Start small. Don't give up, because there is freedom when you actually have control over your finances. So with that being said, as always, I just ask that you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Emphasis on the comments. I want to know your thoughts about this video and any other videos that you would like me to share. If you ask, I'll deliver. This stuff is all for you. I'll see you guys soon.